Let's say it got just much worse.
Violent clashes between demonstrators and the LAPD. Officers in tactical gear pushing the crowd back off Wilshire Boulevard just before this scuffle. These demonstrators showed up to support trans rights and...
Before I begin, I want to include the National Suicide Hotline in case you are ever in a desperate situation or a defeated or hopeless mindset, spring crisis, and need to talk to somebody. Highly advise you call 988 before you consider anything self-destructive or irreversible. Your life is precious. Life is precious, but the world can be a very cold place, as we will discuss next. Please don't be discouraged from doing positive, self-affirming things that make you happy, and don't let singular people with limited education and life experiences to negatively impact your life. It was June 21st. A woman named Cubana Angel went to a spa called the We Spa located in Los Angeles. At around 9:30 p.m., a person who identified as a transgender woman named Darren Mirager entered the facility as well. Darren was later proven to be a sex offender, although that label wasn't even known at the time of the event. She proceeded to undress as is customary at a spa. Viewing her genitalia caused outrage from the cisgendered woman in the spa, including Cubana, who left the spa with the others in apparent disgust. Cubana then proceeded to film the situation, including a rant chastising the spa staff and the trans woman in question. Today, I want to make a response to everything Cubana said in her phone video footage and the situation as a whole because it sparks a very important conversation, in my opinion. It is not intended as a defense or the specific trans individual, but as a critique of the very controversial dilemma at hand. Background on me, I'm not transgender, but am a genderqueer male who is very effeminate. Besides the changing of our physical bodies surgically, I do resonate with trans women and the experience of not conforming entirely with the sex we were assigned at birth. Trigger warning. For real.
We spa, so it's okay. I just want to be clear with you. It's okay for a man to go into the women's section.
Right off the bat. Cubana's video starts with a very loud, hostile, and angry energy when approaching the customer counter in the spa, which seems a bit out of place being indoors and especially in a spa.
Show his penis around the other women, young little girls underage. Your spa, We Spa, condone that. Is that what you're saying?
I completely understand Cubana's discomfort about what she felt was an inappropriate exposure in regards to somebody in a women's section of a spa being uncovered to reveal male genitalia. This situation, while murky and overall message in terms of gender norms and especially occurring in a very personal woman's space. In terms of why does the spa allow this? I don't feel it is appropriate to blame an employee of a company for the company's policy. It's not even completely the spa's fault itself that their policy is consistent with the state regulations.
Like I asked, it's so he can stay there.
Referring to anybody who is a trans woman as he is incredibly disrespectful, especially when you are creating this scene on a video to make a wider statement that many may resonate with. Henceforth empowering people to feel entitled to believe in hatred and possibly become that much closer to expressing it in God knows what way.
He could stay there? What sexual orientation? I see a dick. It lets me know he's a man.
This was a false statement by the We Spa employee to say that this is that person's sexual orientation, or whatever he said along those lines. Sexual orientation and gender are two separate orientations, as anybody in the LGBTQIA+ community would know. Also, may I just point out that referring to male genitalia as a dick is very crude on Cubana's part. If you are going to scream and shout about something and make this whole scene, what credibility do you have with some of this very uneducated, ignorant verbiage?
I see a dick. It lets me know he's a man. He's a man. He is a man. He is not a female. He is not a female.
I don't know what else to say here besides you already have made this point clear. Repeating things like this where everybody can hear you not only is blatantly intolerant, but must make others uncomfortable as well. Very awkward scenario this person has crafted indeed.
Hold on. He is not a female, sweetie.
You do not need to call an employee sweetie who is just doing their job again. You are belittling people left, right, and center based on your own opinion, which isn't fair, girl. Come on.
Okay, girls down there, other women who are highly offended for what they just saw. And you did nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, you sided with...
Now, so We Spa is in agreement with men that just say they are a woman and they can go down there with their penis and get into the women's section.
This is a very generalized statement that outrages me. The person you are talking about is in fact very much in the wrong and not a representation of all men who say they are women. That's not how it works for many, many, many individuals who grow up with this incredibly devastating, in some scenarios, cocktail feeling, of which come with a whole host of mental issues, whether small or major, that really aren't an issue of choice.
What, really? What law?
It's important when making statements that could be triggering or trying to debate policy unrightfully to an employee of an establishment to know at least what you're talking about. What law? Literally, the California Civil Code. 51B and 51E5 is exactly what the man you are scorning is talking about. It clearly declares that it's illegal for businesses, including this spa, to discriminate against transgendered people. Education is very important when trying to defend an argument. What is your basis for questioning this existing law?
So women can go into the man's with their breasts. Okay.
Then this should happen. We're not going to come back.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Y'all wouldn't come back either. Yeah, get your money back.
As a cashier who works behind a counter as well, not high up in the company, just a standard employee, I've been told this exact same thing by disgruntled customers. Let me just say, I'm not greatly offended if people say they aren't coming back due to things out of my control. I'm still getting paid the exact same either way, quite frankly. However, as somebody who considers themselves a decent employee that cares about where I'm employed and appreciate it tremendously, of course I care about the people who come in and don't want these situations to happen. Again though, no matter how you slice it, you're threatening somebody who is not able to change a single thing is just plain rude. And if he does care about his job, he may be emotionally affected. That is all you are accomplishing. My opinion is that this is bullying.
You got a man with his penis talking about he's a woman. He ain't no woman. Yeah, give her money back.
Transgender person?
There's no such thing as transgender. He has a dick.
There is no such thing as transgendered. What a dumb thing to claim. Do one Google search and you will see that there are approximately 9,000 sex changes performed each year. Are you actually denying an entire population exists and attempting to make a point to defend women? I'm sorry you aren't credible in the least in trying to do this, which is needed.
Okay, he has a penis. His penis is hanging out. Okay, no, I'm not
One. Actually, I'm a woman who knows how to stand up and speak up for my right. As a woman, I have a right.
On that note, I'm cutting her off because there's no more point in talking about this. I feel like she's just repeating things over and over again whilst trying to accomplish a very unclear goal of what she hopes to gain from this besides notoriety, ranting and raving, shoving this camera in everybody's face, then posting online. In summary, I will not be covering the aftermath, but let's say it got just much worse from there and caused major conflicts that didn't need to happen. As I've mentioned, the trans woman is an alleged predator. The reason I'm creating this conversation is that I'm just not okay for one person who was distraught originally with a particular individual claiming to be within a marginalized group to then go ahead and start making broad, prejudicial statements when that one person does not represent an entire community that could not be more oppressed, legitimate, and in need of support, not hate, and more hate. Lastly, the reason why I feel an intense need to chastise ideas and hatred such as this is because while yes, they are just statements, it only fuels in a shrapnel type of manner and echoing stance that transphobia is okay. It is negative energy piled on top of each other considering the popularity of this video. These things are just damaging, and without being too dark, it does spark actions that do end lives at the end of the day. Trans women, and especially trans women of color, are abused, beaten, and murdered at a highly disastrous rate. It is only on the rise in America. My heart continues to break for the people whose mental health is greatly affected by gender issues, and suicide prevention needs to be emphasized greatly, way beyond whether or not a trans woman with different anatomy uses the restroom. To ally my transgendered, genderqueer, gay, lesbian, non-binary, polyamorous, asexual, pansexual, and everybody on the damn rainbow, you are not alone. We are in this together, boo. Love you. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Be that fam. Bye.
I have come to confront my own negative preconceived notions and have now come to support the LGBTQIA+ community. Although not all members of this community are perfect, but neither are all members of the larger society.